Hi everyone, this is Leisha with Caught by Design. I'm here today with a video showing you how to use the Silhouette Mint. Unlike the other Silhouette machines, the Mint is not a digital cutter at all. It uses a thermal printing process to create custom stamps. Once your stamp is printed, add liquid ink, let the ink soak in, and you can stamp your image for up to 50 times without re-inking. The Silhouette Mint uses a special software known as Mint Studio. Just like Silhouette Studio, it is available as a free download from the Silhouette America website. You'll notice that its interface looks much like version 3 of Silhouette Studio. The first step when creating a stamp is to decide what your finished size will be. Stamp sheets for the Mint come in 7 different sizes, ranging from 15 millimeters by 15 millimeters, or just a little over a half-inch square, all the way up to 45 millimeters by 90 millimeters, which is a rectangle of about 1.8 inches by 3.5 inches. When you open up Mint Studio, you may see the stamp settings, stamp filters, or the Send to Mint window. Or you may just see the 3 icons. Click on the rectangle icon on the left, which will open up the Stamp Settings window. Included with your Silhouette Mint are 2 sizes of stamp sheets to get you started. One is 30 millimeters by 30 millimeters, or approximately 1 inch square, and the other is 15 millimeters by 60 millimeters. The stamp that we'll be making today is a square stamp, and it will use the 30 millimeter by 30 millimeter stamp sheet. The stamp design includes 3 separate elements: a circle, some text, and an image. When we open a new tab in Mint Studio, the first thing we want to do is select the stamp size. Choose the 30 by 30 millimeter stamp. On the left, you'll see a row of icons. Choose the one that looks just a little bit like a postage stamp and select the circle. Holding down the Shift key, click and drag until you have a perfect circle. This one is a little too thick for my purposes, so I want to adjust the thickness by using the Line Styles tool. The first icon on the left in the upper right corner of your screen is the Line Styles. The default is set to 2 points. I'm going to change that to half a point, or 0.5. That looks much better. Now it's time to add the text. Clicking on the text icon will open up the text style window. I want to use the KG Miss Kindergarten font in an 8-point size. Then I'll type out 2 rows of text. Made with love and just for you. Mint Studio has some curved text options built into the software. The icon on the top right that looks like ABC going down a slight curve will open up this curved text options. By selecting your text and then clicking on one of the options, your text will automatically curve to the shape. Since I want my text to be curved at both the top and the bottom of the circle, I'm going to do mine just a little differently. When you select your text, you will see a green bounding box with a small crosshairs in the bottom left corner. Click on that crosshair and drag it over to the circle, and the text will take the shape of the circle. I'm going to do this with both the Made with Love and the Just for You. Double-click to select the text. Click on the crosshairs and slide it over. The just for you is a little bit trickier because I want it on the inside of the circle, but with just a little bit of patience, it can be done. I want my text to be centered on the line of the circle, and I'll do this using the slider bars in the Text on a Path tool. The easiest way to do this is to zoom way in on your image, and that way you can really see those slider bars. If you click on the text, there'll be a slider bar there, and if you slide it up, the text will go above the circle. If you slide it down, the text will go below the circle. I'm going to move mine until my text is just right in the center. Yeah, I think that looks good. Now I'll do the same for the text on the bottom. Okay. Now I want to make a copy. You'll see why in just a moment. I'll draw a bounding box by clicking in the upper left corner and dragging down to the lower right corner so that all the pieces are selected. Then I'm going to make a copy using the shortcut Command or Control C. We slide this over. Okay, so now I have the original design and one copy. But the circle is going through my text, and that's not going to look very good on my finished stamp. I need just a portion of the circle to the left and the right. But I can't delete the circle because if I do, then my text on a path is going to get messed up. The crop tool in Mint Studio works much like the knife tool in Silhouette Studio. In the icons on the upper right, the fourth icon over opens up the crop tool window. You have your choice of a straight tool, a poly tool, a curve tool, or a freehand tool. And we're going to use the straight tool. Once that's selected, it's as easy as clicking and dragging. You just click, and drag, click, and drag, click, and drag, click, and drag. And now we have those portions of the circle divided out. I'm going to select each one of them by clicking on them. And then grouping them together. You can do this by either right-clicking and choosing group, going up to Object and choosing group, or using a shortcut, Control or Command G. Now I'm going to change the color of those just so I can see them a little bit better. I'll move them over and line them up with the original circle. Then I can delete the parts that I no longer need. Now I need to take care of that original circle that's still showing up as going through my text. Like I said, we can't delete it because if we do, there will no longer be a path for the curved text. But what I can do is change the color of it to white. And now you don't see it. Of course, if you move it off the mat, you will be able to see that it is still there, but since it's white, it won't be printed and it won't show up on our stamp. Now it's time to add the image. I downloaded a heart that I found by typing in public domain heart graphics. Public domain images are exactly what they sound like. They're images that are out there in the public domain, and they are available for both personal and commercial use without having to buy any type of license for them. I'm going to go up to File and Open and navigate to where I have saved the image. It opens up pretty big, so I need to resize it to where it's less than an inch square so that it'll fit on my stamp. I could also have used the File Merge command and brought the image straight into my design, but I would still have had to resize it. Instead, I just chose to copy and paste it from one tab to the other. Now, if you'll look, even though this graphic looks like it's all black, there's a white square around it. In Silhouette Studio, we would use the Trace and Detach feature to get the black separated from the white. But we don't have that option in Mint. What I can do, though, is layer the image so that the heart is behind our text. I do this by right-clicking and choosing Send to Back. And then I'm going to adjust it to fit inside my stamp design. I want this image to be centered as perfectly as possible on the middle of the stamp sheet. So I'm going to select the heart and go up to Object, Align, Center to Stamp. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the text and the pieces of the circle. So I just select all of them at one time by doing a Shift and click and go to Object, Align, Center to Stamp. Now you'll see that the heart looks just a little bit too high. So I'm going to manually adjust that by selecting it and using my arrow down key. That looks pretty good to me. Now I can either leave it just like it is, or I can select all the pieces and resize it by clicking and dragging on the corners. I can make it smaller or larger, but I want mine to fit pretty well in the center of the stamp. So once again, I will select all the pieces and choose Align, Center to Stamp. If you'd like to preview a bit the different colors that might look good on your stamp, you can select the different portions of it and change the colors using the color picker down at the bottom of the screen. Don't be concerned if the image looks fuzzy after you change the colors. It will still print out just like it shows on the design screen, nice and smooth. Now we're ready to send it to the Mint. Since my Mint is not connected right now, I get an error message here in the bottom right corner that says could not connect to the Mint. Let me connect it now and you'll see how that changes. Now I've plugged in my Mint both to a power source and to my computer via USB. You can see that my computer screen has changed and it says that the Mint status is ready. Time to watch the magic happen. Doesn't that look nice? Now I will remove the stamp from the stamp sheet by bending the sheet holder along the perforation and peeling it back. I'll adhere it to the stamp mount and apply the ink. Allow the ink to soak into the stamp for about 5 or 10 minutes and then you're ready to go. I'll slide the stamp mount into the stamp base and stamp off any excess ink. I'll stamp one image onto the label that came in my stamp kit and apply the label to the stamp lid. And now you know how to make your own custom stamp using the Silhouette Mint. Thank you for taking the time to watch.